Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to unbox another Pixie box by Sophie and Toffee. And this one is their secret message box, and you can see this adorable artwork. I love this kind of more like minimalist artwork, it's very cute. And of course on the back of the information card we get their social media information, so feel free to pause if you've never heard of them and check them out on their social media. Now let's have a look what we get inside. The first thing we get are these really beautiful dried leaves, and they have really nice colors, and I think they will look great in resin. We then get two packets of sealing wax, and they come in these really lovely colors. So we have this like yellow, pink and white mix, and this like pink, dark pink, more like an orange and purple mix. We also get another one of these fleecy acrylic markers. It's really hard to see with the black background, but they are actually really not bad at all for detail work. So I'm always happy to have them in the box. Next up, it seems like our projects come in packets again, which I'm appreciative of, so you know what belongs to which. And it seems like we get seal handles. Whoops, of course I dropped the seal there, but we got this really adorable little paw mold, and they have this like threading on the bottom, so if you actually pour the resin in, you will have some threading. And then we have these like stacked bolts as a seal handle. We also get three really beautiful seals, which from the looks of it would actually fit on your normal standard seal handles too. So we get this bee with the intricate design, we get this leaf shape, and we get the sakura flower. Next up we have these heart glitters, which come in white, green and red. And then we get some mica pigments. I got black, orange, white and brown. I don't know if they vary from each pack or if this is actually the combination they chose for this, but we will see in the sheet later. The first mold is this letter like keychain mold. I think this would look really cute for putting a picture in. And then we also get this yellow glitter. This is like a nice, almost daisy, sunflower-ish yellow. Next up we have this chunk of stuff, and it seems like we get some sort of hardware. So these look like double-sided like stoppers or something like that. We get some hooks, and we also get some hinges and some other hardware to screw everything together. Now the mold is a bit interesting because it's basically like a box mold, but instead of a box, of course, it's the shape of a door, but it's open on the bottom, so I guess it's meant to like maybe hold your keys or something, or something else that hangs out on the bottom with like the hooks. And lastly we get this mysterious brown cardboard box, and inside is this container with some really beautiful kind of iridescent shiny white sealing wax. This is so pretty. Can't wait to actually get to use this. But now that we've seen everything, let's actually have a look inside of the booklet, or in this case, I guess the cheat sheet. Now, I don't think we're actually missing any items, and I think it's quite nice to see the seal wax actually used in a seal as an example. And I was right, the pigments were random, and I really liked the choice of colors there. Also random was the glitter, but I'm really happy with the yellow. And here you can indeed see they use it for keys. And apparently there's also a random confetti. So now that we unboxed all of the items, let's have a look at what we can make. I wanted to start off with the sealing handles, and I wanted to try a design with some of these really sparkly color shifting powders. And for the paws I decided to use the dark powder for the paw pads, and then I have this like white to purple color shift, which I will use for the rest of the paw. And I really hope this will give some kind of contrast. Now the purple blends to like a slight like darker bluish purple. I really hope you can see the different colors of this. I'm gonna pour in some black resin in this, so there's a nice contrast between the powder and the resin, so that you can really see it sparkle. I'm just using some very liquid, like 2-day curing resin, and the reason I chose this one is because of the threading. I don't want too many air bubbles in there, and this one should help. So I actually mixed up a bit more for the other hander too, which is why I'm separating it, and I'm just mixing like a little cup with black. And yes, I almost mixed the pigment in the wrong cup. Luckily I realized, but yeah. So yeah, a nice black with some Miranda pigment, which I'm just pouring in, and once this cures, I hope it will give a nice shimmer with the powders we used. Now for the other handle, I wanted to revisit like color and design choice I actually made when I first started making resin projects years ago, and I think it still to this day looks really cool. So I'm basically using some of these gold flakes and then some of this pigment powder. This time I chose pink. Normally I chose a little bit of red instead, but I think the pink with the shimmer will look really nice too. Now I'm making sure not to use too many pigments, that you can actually still see the gold flakes. Now I'm slowly trickling it in. As you can see, like for the previous mold, I tried to like tilt it a bit so the like threading would actually get a lot of resin and the air bubbles could escape. For this mold I just have to pour it because the threading is on the bottom, so the air bubbles should rise, which is why I, as I mentioned before, chose the slow set resin. This is also very liquid, so air bubbles can rise easily. Now I didn't actually want to make the door from the box. I'm probably gonna sell that mold. Instead I decided why not make a little container for the wax seal pieces. And I found this lovely Sakura container, which I, by the way, also got from Sophie and Toffee years ago. And I decided to make like a little bit of gradient. So I mixed the pearl white, and then like a tiny bit on the bottom I mixed some pink and purple. And after 2 days of curing, let's mold it. Now, it is still a tiny bit soft. As I said before in many of my videos, I like to mold stuff when it's still soft, especially containers, because if the mold from storing are a bit deformed, you can easily reshape it to how it's meant to be, and yes, it's heavily misshapen while I'm molding it, but at least it flexes so much that it's really easy to mold without damaging the mold. But as you can see, quite an easy fix, just putting the lid in to make sure it's round, and there we have the container. And all I will do now is set it aside and wait for another like half a day until it fully hardens. Now for some reason the footage from me unmolding the wax seals got lost, including me screwing on the seal parts. But yeah, both of the resins sunk a little bit more than I had hoped. I overpoured, but there's only so much I can overpour with this kind of mold, so I decided why not put some fun things on the back of this. So I actually picked out another box that I got together with this one, which is the hollow box. Video will follow soon, hopefully. So I just put some transfer foil on the back with some UV resin, and then I trimmed the edges off from where it spilled, peeled the foil off, and then I added like a dome of resin. It didn't quite bond as well, so when I cured this layer it actually lifted off on one edge, but I managed to fix that with some super glue. It's really not that noticeable, but yeah, I didn't scuff up the surface before because I thought it was still like uncured enough, but sadly it didn't work with this resin. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I guess it would have been really good if I would have actually scuffed it with like some sandpaper or something, or even just a blade and make scratch marks in there, but yeah, I forgot. But you know, we live and learn, so it's fine. I managed to fix it with the super glue, and yeah, you cannot notice. As for the other one, I found this lovely like glittering flower in my stash, and I thought this would fit perfectly as like a little secret add-on. Now, of course, I had to try out some of the waxy material, keeping the iridescent ones for another project for now, but I wanted to try out these flowers and do like some fun swirly effects. And yes, I'm using the exact same candle and tray for the wax seals that we got in the previous box. And I decided to use some baking paper just to have the seals removable this time and to use them in different projects. I'm trying to just get an imprint of all of the seals with all of the details. And as you can see here, it's very easy to and rescrew these. So the threading actually works super well. Depending on how much your resin shrinks, you might want to pay attention to that, because if your resin tends to shrink quite a lot and not just on the top, it might be that the screw part will not fit, but for me, since my resin just tends to shrink on the top, it worked quite well. And here you can see all the designs. Now I didn't have green for the leaf part, but I think the yellow fits quite well for the bee, and the pink and purple mix for the sakura flower looks also really, really cute. And I just love how like the stuff is so three-dimensional, especially like the bee. I think it's such a cool seal. Now the last thing I only need to do is to put in the sealing wax pieces into this container. I know the container will be a bit smaller. I just hope that if I make some seals on the side, it will fit. It shouldn't be too much smaller. And I decided to also mix these because I think the colors actually fit well, and I can just pick out whichever ones I want. I will shake them up a bit later so I have easy access to all the colors. But yeah, here we have all the finished projects for this week's video. Now, to the box, I think for secret message it actually quite fits. I like the door idea, although I don't quite get the secret message part of that one. But I think it's quite cute for keys. As I said, I'm not gonna use it. I have a perfectly well functioning 3D printed key holder that I quite love. But I think other people that have like a different decoration style than I have, if they would make that, I think that would look really cute in somebody's house. So as I said, I will sell that mold. And as always, we get a nice collection of glitters and pigments in this, which will also be really helpful for future projects. But yeah, I'm really happy that there was like two well thought out projects in this and not just molds again. So yeah, I quite like this Pixie box, especially the seal handle mold part. I think the paw is absolutely adorable, and I think yeah, you could easily put in maybe animal for a beloved pet of yours or something like this, or even a picture of them. I quite love the shape of it and the small thing. It's basically like a smaller mold of the larger paws we got in the paw box earlier. So yeah, I'm quite happy. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this box and which projects of this box you actually enjoyed or didn't enjoy, and I hope you have a great day. See you next time, bye!